welcome to another beer review. Now today we're going to do something a bit different and hopefully interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to do another Beer Monster kind of beer review basically. So it's a beer that's basically dispensed through the Beer Monster, which is a beer dispensing machine. And it's going to be a bit different because the last time we did one which was kind of a really not, well, it's kind of gassed, but it's not really gassed. And what we did was we used a Doom bar, and we're comparing it against a bottle version and the kind of keg version that's dispensed by the beer dispenser, which in this case is a Beer Monster. But we're actually going to be doing a fully gassed one. So when I said it was kind of gassed with the Doom bar, it actually has a little CO2 canister as well to help to dispense it, and of course you can control how much carbonation is going into your beer as part of that, the same as what happens in a bar or a pub. Whereas this one, we have no control over it, so there's no CO2, it's all basically fully gassed and it's all basically set up. Now, it's the same in a certain way as how you'd actually just dispense it straight from the keg. So today we're doing a Pelforth. It's quite heavy that. We're going to be doing this in the Beer Monster and see what it's like. So it could be quite interesting, or it could be an absolute bloody disaster. I don't know, I've never done this before, so it's something that's completely new to me. So it'll either go beautifully smoothly and it'll be absolutely wonderful and be so impressed, or you're going to be sitting there thinking, that arsehole doesn't have no clue what he's doing and he's making an absolute mess of it. Which could probably happen with me. But anyway, so it's a Pelforth. Now this is a kind of preemptive because we will be doing starting a new series quite soon, and it's going to be Belgian beer. I actually have a Belgian beer pre-gassed keg to start off the series, and we've got some loads of, in the background, Belgian beer to start reviewing. But this one is it's a kind of border. It's not a Belgian beer, but it's slightly Belgian-esque in how it is. It is a blonde, as you can see, and it's brewed by Heineken in France, and everything is in French, which is also another situation. As you can see, that'll probably make it an absolute bloody disaster, although I used to actually speak not bad French, but I didn't really take it any further within the beer situation, apart from maybe asking for a draft beer, a beer press, or something like that, or bottles or cans of beer or things like that. I never really kind of went any further from the beer point of view, but for work at the time I was using French when I was staying in Brussels. So the situation is here, all the instructions are in French. There is obviously some pictured instructions. I do have an attachment that's supposed to go on the top here and get everything started. Should be fairly straightforward. So what I'll do is I'll fire this in the machine, pour off a glass, and then we'll review it. But this is a French beer brewed by Heineken in France, so it's not brewed under license in the UK, so hopefully this will be quite good. The price is £20.99 from Beerwolf I got it from, because I've got a few kind of sales on just now. And of course it says avec sans machine, so of course you can do it without a machine, as it says here, avec sans machine. Right, and it's 5.8%, 5 litres, 5.8%, and hopefully it'll be quite nice. So I'll be back in a moment. Hi, so we're back again, and what I'd like to report is it does actually pour like a beer press, a French beer, basically a French pressurized beer from a bar in France. And really you should have the skimming scoop basically, or the skimming paddle, because it did really well, and even then you can still say, do you want a flake in that, sir? You know what I mean? It is a lively car. And I thought I'd try it in a different glass as well, and it was still just as bloody bad. And at one point in the case, when I first poured it, and but that much beer and that much head, so it's a bit lively when it first comes out, but yeah, straightforward, plugs it in, boom, shebang shebang, thank you very much. So, as you can see, it's quite a blonde, light coloured, straw coloured beer. It has the smell of grain, so it has a kind of freshness to it. You're getting that kind of grain and kind of cut grass kind of smells. But yeah, as you can see, it looks quite nice. It looks nicely carbonated. Now this is basically pre-gas, so there's nothing I can do to control it. It's the same as like when you open a can or open a bottle, there's nothing we can do. What basically comes out is what comes out. So that's what we've got. With the other type that we did with the Doom Bar is I can adjust the carbonation, so I can have less carbonation or I can have more carbonation and things like that, so I can adjust it. But of course you will require an additional CO2 canister to do that. As well as obviously adjusting the carbonation of the brew that's coming out. What you're also doing is it's also working as a propellant, so it's also basically, because with these type of kegs like with the Doom Bar, they're designed to dispense from the bottom, so what you're doing is also using the CO2 as a propellant to help to dispense from the top, whereas these ones, they are designed to dispense from the top, so they're basically pressurized. It's probably the best way of putting it. So let's go down a wee bit, let's get a taste quick. Oh, that is easy to drink. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm going to be in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be in trouble. Well, first things first, it doesn't have that kind of, how would you say, the Bier 33 or Kronenberg 1664 or that kind of Alsace kind of beer aftertaste, the famous French beer aftertaste you get. It's quite bitter and sour, in some cases chemically aftertaste. You're not getting that at all. It's actually a very refreshing beer to straight off with. It's got a nice gentle aftertaste. That's actually, it's a refreshing aftertaste. It doesn't kind of have a hoppy or chemically or bitter aftertaste. So let's kind of break down the flavours. Right. For a beer it's 5.8, you wouldn't think it was. And I do have a Belgian beer that's a 6.8. Good start, and I've got a keg of it. Oh dear. I might not see the rest of this month, and I'll be quite happy if I don't. But yeah, this is a 5.8, very smooth, very gentle, very nice to drink. Too easy to drink, especially for a 5.8. It does not give you any inclination that this, I mean, you would drink this and you probably think, oh, it's a 4% or something like that. You wouldn't believe it's a 5.8. It is very kind of smooth. It's not overly bursting with flavour, but what you're getting at the start, you're getting a little bit of malt, You're getting the grain flavours, that type of stuff, which is kind of from the hops. These grain flavours build up to give a bit of a more hoppier flavour mid-tongue, and then it just gently dissipates. Just kind of finish it off with a just light crispness. And when I mean crispness, you probably think, what does crispness actually taste like? Which is actually a good question. Crispness within a kind of a lager, it kind of gives you what is the case as though, how would you say? Probably the best way to try and describe crispness is ever so slight dryness. An ever so slight dryness, and it's like imagine you're at the seaside and you take a big deep breath and it's a hot summer's day and you're getting that kind of little dryness in the mouth when you do it. And also you're just getting a little bit of, how would you say, kind of fresh air. Kind of feel that kind of, the refreshment, the kind of refreshingly fresh air, the kind of purity of it, that type of thing. So yes, what you're kind of getting is a kind of a slight dryness in the mouth, ever so slight dryness. But it's not dry as in it's uncomfortable or unpleasant. It's that kind of dryness you get where it just ever so slightly just activates the salivary glands ever so much, and it just adds that kind of little refreshness. So it's got a refreshing or crisp kind of finish to it. But yeah. It is too easy to drink. And for £20.99 I got basically 2 kegs. I got a keg at something roughly about £22 and a keg at £20.99. So I got 10 litres of beer, one Belgian beer, quite a well-known Belgian beer, and this, which isn't an unknown French beer. It's actually quite a few different companies that are selling this beer. Whether it's in this type of format of keg, I think you're also getting it as your Krups kind of tube. Basically, they're selling it. I don't know if it's in the premium draft machine. I don't know, but it's quite a popular beer just now. It's doing quite well. And yeah, it's a nice beer. I would say it's probably one of the nicest kind of, I would say it's definitely a summer lager. It's one of these ones you could crack open for a barbecue, whether in a machine or utilising its own kind of pump system and just dispense it straight from the keg. It is a nice beer. It's a nice beer, it's easy to drink. If you're looking for a beer with lots of flavour and looking for a more complicated beer, like maybe a kind of Czech Pilsner or maybe a more Belgian blonde or something like that, or something like a double or a triple, Belgian double or triple, excuse me, then this isn't it. But it's a very light drinking, easy drinking, sessionable French blonde, and I would say it's probably one of the nicest French beers I've had for a long while. There's also an ever so slight, as I'm now getting more acclimatised to it, there's just a nice little bit of sweetness there in the aftertaste as well. It's a nice little sweetness that is really nice, and it just sets it up for the next kind of drink. It really does, because it just helps with the saliva production and everything else, and it just gives that really nice kind of light, refreshing finish to it. So yeah, what would I give it out of 10? Well, price wise, whether you've got a beer machine or not, £20.99, whether you're dispensing it straight from the keg or you're putting it through. I mean, the advantage of the machine is it means that you don't have to drink it all at once, and of course I can keep it chilled in there, whereas once I've taken it out of the fridge and attached the dispensing system on it, then it's going to be quite difficult to put it back in the fridge for another day, so you're really going to have to dispense it and utilise it all on the day, basically. Or if you're happy to drink it the next day as a kind of slightly warm beer, well, that's up to you. But nicely chilled, and I think this is chilled down to about 5 degrees, 4 or 5 degrees. So that's the benefit of having it in the beer dispensing system, like the beer machine. But you can dispense it straight from the keg, and for £20.99 for 5 litres, which is round about kind of 9 pints, or basically 10 portions of 500ml. I can't really complain, really. It's nice, refreshing, and what I could probably spend on the kind of mainstream piss waters and cans and bottles in the supermarket, I'd say this is more enjoyable. And I think it's, if you're having people round or having a barbecue or anything like that, then I would probably say this is a better option. I mean, a couple of these with some friends, and your friends will love you to bits because it really is really nice. So out of 10, I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it a 6.5. 6.5 for price wise, flavour wise, dispensability, everything else, whether you have a beer machine or not. I would recommend it. It's better than buying your 1664 nonsense, because that's just utter piss water. This is in a far better league, far, completely different league, far, far better. So my view is, save your pennies. I think there's quite a few companies that sell it. I got it from Beowulf, it's free delivery, so you're not paying any delivery costs. So what you're paying for the keg is what you're getting. Now, I'm not saying that the delivery cost maybe isn't added into their markup or whatever, I'm saying that, but if you're buying kegs, I bought one at £22, one at £21 basically, and there was no any additional fees for shipping. And I got to pick the day. I think I had ordered it on the Saturday and they could have delivered it on the Tuesday, but because nobody was going to really be in until the Friday, I said, well, I'd rather have it delivered on the Friday, and sure enough, boom, it was delivered on the Friday. So I've got no complaints. So it's easy enough to get. You don't have to use Beowulf. There's plenty of other companies selling this in the kegs, and there's plenty of companies selling it in the bottles as well, and you can get it in other different formats. You can get it in Krupp's kind of sub, kind of tube, kind of little, kind of mini keg. I think it's 2 litre kegs. I'm not sure if you can get it in for the premium draft. You might do, but there's plenty of options out there, and if not, you can still just get it in this type of keg and dispense it straight from the keg. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I would recommend it. Really good, really enjoyable. As you can see, very, very drinkable. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Cheers, and bye for now. Nothing really left. But yeah, you can drink it easy.